Students, today we are going to learn about elementary transformation in matrices. Now, we can transform a matrix by doing 6 operations, 3 of which are due to row and 3 of which are due to column. Let us see what these operations are. The first operation, interchange of any 2 rows or any 2 columns. If you want to change the position of any 2 rows of a matrix, say Ri and Rj. R stands for row, I and J stand for the number, row number. So this is denoted like this, where a double-headed arrow is written between Ri and Rj, saying that the rows have been interchanged. The same thing can be written for columns. Ci and Cj can be interchanged by denoting it in this way. Now for example, if A is a matrix containing the elements 3 and 2 in the first row and 1 and minus 9 in the second row. If we interchange these rows, we write them as R1 interchange with R2 and we get 1 and minus 9 now in the first row and 3 and 2 now in the second row. Similarly, if we want to interchange in the original matrix the first column with the second column, we write it like this and we get 3 and 1 which were in the first column now come to the second column. Similarly, 2 and minus 9 which were in the second column come to the first column. Remember that when we interchange the rows and columns or when we do any elementary transformation, the original matrix is transformed. For example, the original matrix given here is not equal to any of the transformed matrices. But we can write the original matrix, that is A, as equivalent to the transformed matrices. So this symbol stands here for equivalent to. Second operation, multiplying the elements of any row or column by a non-zero scalar. Now what is a non-zero scalar? A non-zero scalar is any number, say k. Suppose we want to multiply k with any row of a matrix. Say we want to multiply k with Ri. This is denoted as Ri changes to Kri. Note the arrow written for changing to. So all the elements of Ri, that particular row, are multiplied with the number k and thus the matrix gets changed, transformed. Similarly, column Ci, if we multiply it with k, we denote this as KCi and all the elements of that particular column are multiplied with the number k. For example, if A is a matrix containing the rows 5, 4 and 3, 2, then R2 changing to 4 R2. What do we do over here? Correct. Observe the second row. We multiply 4 with both the elements of the second row. And thus we get A, which is equivalent to the given matrix here. So note that the second row, which was 3, 2 initially, has been changed into 12, 8 here. Suppose we want to do C1 changing to minus 3 C1. Here what are we going to do? Correct. In the first column, we are going to multiply both the elements by minus 3. Thus we get 5, 3 which was originally in the first column changing to minus 15 and minus 9 in the first column. Now you can do this operation yourself and check it out. B is the given matrix. Transform B by doing R1 changing to 2R1 and see what you get for B. The third step in transformation, the third operation of transformation, adding the scalar multiples of all the elements of any row or column to the corresponding elements of any other row or column. Now what is the meaning of this? Suppose k is a scalar. We multiply k with any row of the matrix, say Ri, and add this multiple, add this product to any other row of the matrix, say Rj. We denote this as Rj changes to Rj plus Kri. Remember, Ri does not change over here. Only Rj changes because of this step. Similarly, any column can be written as Cj changes to Cj plus Kci. Let us take an example here. Suppose A is a matrix and K is a number, say 2. Then in the matrix, R1 changing to R1 plus 2 R2 gives us like so, where observe R1. R1 originally was minus 1 in the 1th position. Now R1 plus 2 R2, that is minus 1 plus 2 into 2. Note that the 2 in the bracket comes from the second row element. Similarly, 4 in the 2th position now becomes 4 plus 2 into 5. Thus we get the value for A. Now you can do this transformation and see in your mind where you are changing C1 to C1 plus 3C2. Now let us do the exercise and see what sums are coming there. The question is, apply the given elementary transformation on each of the following matrices. The first question is quite simple. A is the given matrix. They have told us to interchange R1 and R2 in A. So we just have to write the second row as the first and the first row as the second, and thus we get the answer. Remember, write A equivalent to and not equal to. The second sum, B is the given matrix. Do the operation R1 changes to R1 minus R2. So what is done over here, you can see for yourself. R2 has been subtracted from R1. Say 1 minus 2, minus 1 minus 5 and 3 minus 4. And thus we get the answer for the equivalent of B. The third sum, A and B are the given matrices. We have to do the operations which they have told us to do. That is, in A, we do C1 interchange with C2. And in B, R1 interchanges with R2. And write our observations. So here, A is the given matrix having the rows 5, 4 and 1, 3. C1 interchange with C2. Interchanges the positions of the C1, column C1 and column C2. Thus they come like so. Also, B is the given matrix. R1 interchange with R2 gives us the equivalent of B. Now when we observe both the two new matrices, we observe that both of them are equal. That is our conclusion over here. The next sum can be done as an assignment in your notebook. The fifth sum, A is the given 3 by 3 matrix. We have to first do 3R3 and then we also have to do C3 plus 2 C2. So in the solution, R3 is changing to 3R3. Thus we get this matrix. Now observe what has been done over here. The third row has been multiplied by 3. Thus we get this matrix where the third row has been changed, as you can observe over here. Then C3, now the next operation is C3 transforming to C3 plus 2 C2. Thus the third column of this matrix now changes to C3 plus 2 C2. That is like so, where only the third column, see the third column, the first element, the 1/3 element is 3. So we get 3 plus 2 into the 1/2 element, that is 2 into minus 1. The same way 0 plus 2 into 1 and 3 plus 2 into 9. Thus we get the answer where you can see that the third column in the answer has changed. The sixth question, as you can see, the same matrix has been given to you as the fifth question. The operations have been told to be done in reverse. And you can conclude whatever you find from question 5 and question 6 as an assignment in your notebook. In the seventh question, now this is important. A 2 by 2 matrix is given. You have to convert it into an upper triangular matrix. Now what is an upper triangular matrix? Do you remember what it is? Yes, it is a matrix in which all the elements below the diagonal are 0. That means, what do you have to do over here? Below the diagonal in this particular matrix, you have the element 3. You have to convert 3 into 0 by using whatever transformation that you can use. You can either use row transformation or you can use column transformation. So, A is the given matrix containing the rows 1, 2 and 3, 4. Now to convert 3 into 0, we know that 3 minus 3 is 0. but we cannot add or subtract scalar numbers from matrices. We can only multiply them. So as a result, we do step number C, which we learned in our matrix transformation. That is, we transform it like this. R2 changing to R2 minus 3R1. Now observe R2. R2 contains the element 3 and 4. We want to convert 3 into 0 so that the matrix becomes an upper triangular matrix. Now 3 minus 3 is 0, and in R1, 1 into 3 is 3. Thus, 3 minus 1 into 3 gives us 0 in the 2 1th position of the answer matrix. So like this. So A becomes equivalent to 3 minus 3 into 1. Remember, the transformation has to be also applied to 4. All the elements of the second row are changed now. So 4 becomes 4 minus 3 into 2. Thus A becomes an upper triangular matrix, as you can see over here. Study the example properly. If you want, pause the video, look at it once again, because this is what we'll be doing in the next few exercises. Here, convert the given 2 by 2 matrix into an identity matrix by using suitable row transformations. Now the identity matrix which we have to convert contains 2 rows and 2 columns. Thus, in the first row we have to get 1, 0, and in the second row we have to get 0, 1. So if A is the given matrix, we see that the 1th element is already 1. Next step is to convert this 2 into 0. Remember, we cannot add or subtract scalar numbers. 2 will become 0 by doing 2 minus 2. Thus we do R2 minus 2R1. Observe what has been done in R2. And thus we get 0 in the required position. The next step, we have to convert this 5 as 1. Now 5 will become 1 when we divide 5 with 5. Thus we do R2 into 1 upon 5. So 0 upon 5 remains 0, it doesn't change, but 5 becomes 1, like this. The next step, convert minus 1 into 0. So this can be done by doing R1 plus R2. So 1 plus 0, 1, and minus 1 plus 1 we get 0. Thus A has been converted into an identity matrix by doing row operations. In this sum, transform the given 3 by 3 matrix into an upper triangular matrix by suitable column operations. Now what is an upper triangular matrix? Yes, the elements below the diagonal should become 0. So all these elements, that is 2, 3 and 2, we have to convert them into 0. So A is the given matrix. Let us convert this 2 into 0 first. Like so. C2 changes to 3C2 minus 2C1. Concentrate on 2. When we do 3C2, 3 into 2 is 6, minus the corresponding 2 into 3, also 6. And 6 minus 6 gives us 0. Whatever answer we get for the other elements is okay, but this particular element has to become 0. Thus we get this. Observe what has been done here carefully. The next step, we want to convert this 3 as 0. So C1 changes to 4C1 minus 3C3, which gives us 0 in that particular position. Remember, the other elements can change to whatever, but we need 0 in that the 1/3th position. This is the operation which has been done. You can observe it just for your reference. Next step, we want to get minus 1. We want to transform minus 1 into 0. Thus, C1 changing to C1 minus C2 gives us minus 1 as 0. And thus we get the required upper triangular matrix. Next sum, a given 3 by 3 matrix is there. We have to convert it into I3 by using suitable column transformations. Now what is I3? I3 is an identity matrix of order 3. That is, it's a 3 by 3 identity matrix. So we want to convert the elements 2, 3 and 3 in the given question into 0. by using column transformation. So A is the given matrix. First step, we want to convert this 2 as 0. We can do this by doing C1, which is transformed into C1 minus 2C2. Thus we get 0 in the correct position. In the next step, we want to convert minus 3 as 0. And this is done by doing C1 plus 3C3. Remember, we could have done C1 plus C2 and also got 0 in that position. But then 0 which we got previously, 2 was transformed to 0 and that 0 would also change. We don't want this to happen. So we are doing C1 plus 3C3. Thus we get 0 in that proper position. In the next step, we want to convert this 3 into 0. And thus we do C2 changing to C2 minus 3C3. Thus we get the remaining identity matrix. Now the next sum, you can do it as an assignment in your notebook. It has been taken from the miscellaneous exercise of your textbook. Now remember students, you have to practice this concept and make it thorough, because in the next lecture, we will be using the same concept for finding the inverse of a matrix by elementary transformations. I'll explain to you in the next lecture. Till then, keep practicing, keep safe and healthy. Bye.